In a time long ago, nestled between towering mountains and vast green valleys, there lay a forest so ancient and enigmatic that it was believed to be alive. The forest, known as the Zozakuku, was a labyrinth of twisting trees, where shadows danced like whispers, and every leaf seemed to hide a secret. The villagers living nearby warned travelers never venture too far into the heart of the woods. For it was said that the forest was guarded by spirits, beings neither fully of this world nor entirely apart from it. From a distant kingdom, a young warrior named Agus set out on a quest to prove his valor. Agus was a man of great renown, known for his unmatched skill with the sword and his unwavering courage. Despite his victories in battle, he was restless. The songs people sang in his honor, the riches offered by kings, and the praises of men did little to fill the emptiness he felt inside. He yearned for a challenge that would test not only his strength but also his soul. One day, Agus heard whispers of the Zozakuku forest, and the mysterious trials it held for those who dared to enter. Some spoke of treasures hidden within, while others claimed that only the truly worthy could find the heart of the forest, where unimaginable secrets awaited. Intrigued and undeterred by the warnings, Agus decided to seek out this legendary place, hoping that whatever lay within its depths would provide him the purpose he sought. Upon entering the forest, Agus quickly realized that the tales were true. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and ancient wood, and a mist clung to the ground like a veil. The trees seemed alive, their branches twisting and turning as if they were watching his every move. Hours turned into days as Agus wandered deeper, guided only by an instinct that told him to press on. But as time passed, the forest began to play tricks on him. The paths he took seemed to loop back on themselves, leading him in circles. The shadows grew longer, and strange sounds echoed in the distance. Exhausted and on the brink of despair, Agus collapsed by a glimmering stream. As he cupped his hands to drink, the waters shimmered with an ethereal light, and he suddenly felt a presence, something ancient and powerful. Before him, the mist began to coalesce, taking the form of a radiant figure. It was a woman, her beauty transcendent, with hair like moonlight and eyes that sparkled with the depth of the night sky. She wore a flowing gown that seemed woven from the very essence of the forest itself. Her voice was like the wind whispering through the leaves as she spoke. "I am Eloan, spirit of this forest. You are lost, brave warrior." Agus, taken aback by her sudden appearance and mesmerized by her ethereal beauty, could only nod in silence. "I have watched you," the spirit continued. "You are driven by more than pride or ambition. Your heart searches for something it cannot name. I can guide you out of this forest, but only if you agree to a pact." Eloan's presence was comforting. And as days passed, Agus found himself growing closer to her. She led him through the winding paths of the Everdeep, showing him the hidden wonders of the forest, glowing flowers that bloomed in moonlight, creatures of myth that danced in the shadows, and places where time seemed to stand still. During these moments, Agus' admiration for Eloan deepened. And it wasn't long before admiration blossomed into love. Eloan too felt a warmth within her that she had never known. Spirits of the forest were bound by their duties, and rarely did they form attachments to mortals. But Agus was different. His courage, integrity, and vulnerability touched something within her. For the first time in centuries, Eloan allowed herself to dream of a life beyond the confines of her spiritual duties. Yet she knew that their love was not meant to be. The elders of the forest, the ancient spirits who governed the balance of the natural world, would never allow such a union. One night, as they stood beneath a canopy of stars, Agus confessed his love to Eloan. "You have shown me more beauty and wonder than I ever thought possible. But none of it compares to you. Eloan, I wish to be by your side for as long as I live." Tears sparkled in Eloan's eyes as she responded, "I share your feelings, Agus, but our love is forbidden. The elders will never accept it. A mortal and a spirit cannot be bound together." it would upset the balance of the world. But perhaps there is a way. The next day, Elon took Agus to the heart of the forest, where the air was thick with magic. There, the elders appeared, a circle of towering, ghostly figures whose faces were obscured by flowing robes of mist and shadow. They spoke in voices that rumbled like distant thunder. Agus of the mortal realm, you seek what is forbidden. The union of spirit and man goes against the laws of nature. Yet, we see that your love is sincere. If you wish to prove the purity of your bond, you must complete 3 tasks. Should you succeed, we will allow your love to flourish. But fail, and you will be cast out, never to see Elon again. The first task was to retrieve a blossom from the moonlight glade, a place where no mortal had ever tread. The glade was protected by a beast of nightmares, a creature with the body of a wolf, eyes like burning embers, and a voice that could shatter the mind. Agus ventured into the glade, armed not just with his sword but with the love he held for Elon. After a fierce battle, where he was pushed to the brink of death, he managed to outwit the beast and pluck the luminous flower from its center. The second task was to climb the pinnacle of Echoes, a mountain that reached into the clouds, where a single note of a sacred song had been lost. Agus had to ascend alone, facing biting winds and treacherous cliffs, all while being haunted by visions of his past failures and regrets. At the summit, he sang the note with a heart full of hope and sorrow, restoring the harmony that had been lost for centuries. The final task was the hardest. Agus had to surrender his own life, plunging into the abyss of reflection, a chasm where souls were judged and weighed. In this abyss, he was confronted by his deepest fears. The fear of losing Elon, the fear of being forgotten, the fear of never finding meaning. But Agus willingly gave himself up, letting go of his desires, his pride, and even his life itself, in a final act of selflessness. Moved by Agus' sacrifice, the abyss released him, deeming his love pure and unselfish. When Agus emerged, the elders of the forest were waiting, and their stern visages softened. You have proven yourself worthy, Agus. You have shown that your love is not born of desire but of a bond that transcends life itself. With their blessing, Agus and Elon were allowed to be together, but the elders warned them of the cost. Elon could no longer remain a full spirit, she would become part human, mortal, and vulnerable. Her eternal life would be forfeit, and she would age alongside Agus, sharing in his joys and sorrows. Without hesitation, Elon agreed. To her, the fleeting moments of a mortal life with Agus were worth more than all the endless years of solitude as a spirit. Agus and Elon returned to the world of men, where they lived a life filled with adventure, laughter, and deep love. They were the stuff of legends, their story told around campfires, and sung by birds for generations to come. It is said that when they grew old, they returned to the heart of the Zozokuku, where they vanished into the mist, leaving behind only a single flower, a blossom that glowed with the light of the moon. The Zozokuku forest remained a place of mystery, but those who entered with pure hearts could still feel the lingering presence of Agus and Elon, their love woven into the very fabric of the trees and the whispers of the wind.